Yo, what is up, my fellow British your boy? Aiming like 6 can never take a motherfucking loss. Today, you better react to the fight business as always. You better react to the king of Africa, Dricus Du Plessis. Let's be honest, bro. We all thought Izzy was gonna win that fight, but we know who the real king of Africa is, sadly. So let me just, show my support, man. Even though I don't fuck with Dricus, but
I'm not gonna defend my belt. I'm gonna keep on fighting like I never had that belt. And I'm willing to die and take a life for this belt.
What is the word? Is it psychopath or is it sociopath? And by the way, once we determine that, is Dricus Du Plessis one?
Dricus Du Plessis has done the unthinkable, not once, but twice. He's toppled two of the greatest
actually, three times. He stopped Darren Till. Because everybody thought, Darren Till was gonna come back in Yemen, but he didn't.
middleweights in UFC history, and he didn't just defeat them, he finished them, leaving no room for doubts.
So I beat Strickland, I beat Whitaker,
You're gonna lose from Strickland again. Promise that.
and I beat Adesanya. I can't wait to see. I haven't been on social media. I can't wait to see what the critics say now.
Imagine just a few years ago predicting that a middleweight would not only beat but finish both Israel Adesanya and Robert Whitaker. Is the kind of wild fantasy reserved for late-night MMA shitposting, the type where the
Wait a minute. Hold up.
is the kind of wild
Below and Dana asking for a title shot.
fantasy reserved for late-night MMA
Yeah, we all seen this.
shitposting, the type where the most outrageous scenarios are entertained when you're drunk out of your mind, yet
Sterling versus Dillashaw.
here we are, living in that very reality. I know we're supposed to expect the unexpected and never count out an underdog, but holy hell, how can you explain this? Somehow, someway, Dricus Du Plessis keeps rushing in a straight line, keeps swinging white hooks with no regard for defense, and he still keeps winning, and defending. And honestly, after the most recent event, who's going to stop him?
Listen, I ain't even gonna lie to you, bro. A lot of these people be taking this shit too, like, legitimate. Just because he beat Izzy doesn't mean he unstoppable, bro. You feel what I'm saying? Like, he gonna get his ass kicked, bro. Like, Bilal Muhammad, we waiting for Shavkat Ramadov. It's somebody in the middleweight division that we probably do know about, but they might switch up their whole shit and start whooping ass. But Dricus, he not being Strickland again. I ain't even gonna lie. And if he do,
Thank you to the fighting business. Absolutely amazing.
One of my favorite new channels going right now.
In early 2023, Dricus Du Plessis was known less as a middleweight contender and more well known as a future victim of Israel Adesanya. I've covered this a number of times in previous video, but here's a refresher. Dricus said he was going to be the first and only champion residing in Africa.
I'm the African fighter in the UFC. Myself and Cameron, we breathe the African air. We train in Africa, we're African born, we're African raised. That's an African champion, and that's who I'll be.
And Israel Adesanya, who had recently knocked out Poatan,
all of this was about Africa, man. And he just stayed on business.
was so pissed off by those comments that he spent every day manifesting a title match between himself and Dricus just so he could legally torture him.
Trust me, like you
Yeah, legally fucking lose and get choked out like a fucking bum he is.
understand. I'm here now. I'm gonna fuck this guy up. David. I'm gonna torture this guy.
Oh yeah, I know.
No. I'm gonna torture this guy.
So the bad blood was
Like, I don't like niggas that just be popping they shit. Like, bro, you're not the style bender no more, bro. I lost all respect for you, bro.
there, and MMA fans wanted to see
Real
these two
shit.
beat the hell out of each other, but looking at the middleweight division and then looking at Dricus and how he fought, fat chance we were going to see Israel Adesanya versus Dricus Du Plessis. Still, Knox was entertaining and had yet to lose in the UFC, but even against less than stellar competition, DDP did not look like a world beater.
He's the best, worst fighter in the world. And I don't mean to disrespect him. He's winning his fights. He's doing great. I just think he's not very good at technique.
His style was so awkward, downright clumsy, and he moved in slow motion. So while he was able to best the likes of Darren Till and his predecessor Derek Brunson, actually elite fighters who were at the top of the division were going to badly expose him.
There's a ton of holes in his game. He can't make the mistakes in his fight with Whitaker that he made against Derek Brunson.
UFC 290 was supposed to be the end of the Dricus hype train, and the elite fighter standing across from him was the championship guardian of 185, Robert the Reaper Whitaker.
Just go, hey, Du Plessis, you'll get to Izzy, but you got to get through Robert Whitaker first. You might as well just be like, it's never happening.
You know, the former middleweight champion who had only lost to Adesanya at middleweight. Whitaker was so crisp with his boxing, and he operated on a different scale when it came to speed as
Yep, and got knocked out southpaw snitch. Same way I had Izzy did him.
No middleweight beside Adesanya was able to deal with his blitz. So what the heck was Dricus, who fought like he was drowning in quicksand, was going to do? Well, Dricus didn't look too slow against Whitaker. In fact, he landed on the former champion and even took him down, something very few fighters have been able to do, and mauled Whitaker on the canvas. In the second rounds, the point where DDP usually starts to slow down, and the South African Chad caught Whitaker with a right hand and did not let up the pressure until he scored the TKO. This was one of the biggest upsets in the past couple of years, and this victory demonstrated that Dricus was able to effectively game plan. Fighting southpaw and firing the jab to disrupt the blitz, Dricus was able to defeat Whitaker, and while that was a massive feather in the cap, there were still two glaring questions about the guy: his endurance and his greatness. UFC 297, Dricus finally got his shot at gold, but the championship was not held by Israel Adesanya, but Sean Strickland, who had beaten the long-reigning champion at UFC 293, and with a gas tank fueled by psychopathy and insanity, Strickland was a bad matchup for DDP because he was going to keep coming forward behind his defensive shell and jab and keep his way forward until he broke Dricus.
The first round and a half, I think Dricus is going to be really dangerous, it's going to be really scary, but the moment we hit past a 1.5.
Bro, we need Costa back, bro. We need Polo Costa, bro. I ain't even gonna lie, bro. Because Dricus should not be having this belt.
Half rounds, I think Sean's gonna absolutely fucking dog walk him.
His gas tank was still a question mark. No surgery, I know, but a 5-round fight with Sean Strickland was hell, and unlike Whitaker, he was not going to stop coming forward. For the first time, Sean Strickland was the guy often on the back foot, as DDP was the one pressuring. He ate jabs and kicks to the body, but his punches were a lot more damaging, and he was able to sustain this momentum for a full 25-minute fight. Strickland landed more, but at no point did it look like he had broken Du Plessis, and the judges awarded the fight to the South African native, who had outfought the guy with the best gas tank in the division, and he was now the 185-pound champion.
I mean, ever since he beat Robert Whitaker, he's been talking about being champion. He's carried himself like a champion. He's dressed like a champion, walked like a champion, talked like a champion. Yeah. He's done everything like a champion, and things were lined up for him. And I think that's why he won tonight.
Dricus was now the champion, and only one challenger made sense as his first title defense, someone DDP was supposed to fight at UFC 293. He had the speed, the technique, and the cardio to go all 5 rounds, and he also happened to be one of the best fighters of this generation. Israel Adesanya.
I told you I manifested this. I manifested this.
He was defeated by
Yeah, you manifested you losing, you bitch ass
Strickland
nigga.
at UFC 293, and it was a bad night for him in Australia, but he was still Israel Adesanya, and given all that he had accomplished, you could not doubt him for a second.
It isn't
How many times he went to the back disappointed in himself?
out there, implement and execute his game plan, and force DDP to make a bad choice, a bad overextend over in the void, or just go out there and work him. I have Izzy winning that fight.
He had ruled the middleweight division for the past couple of years, unrivaled, and now he was back, mentally focused, spiritually healed, and physically stronger than ever before.
I feel the love from the crowd. First time I fought here, 221, that was February 2018. That was me making my dream come true. Sunday, I'm gonna fucking kill your dreams, bitch. I wanna fucking kill your dreams.
You ain't do shit, nigga. Only thing you did what? Watch out, like, bro, like, you're a fucking bitch. Niggas be talking too much.
The date was set, UFC 305, the fight that fans had been clamoring for, the showdown between Dricus Du Plessis and Israel.
Just to get fucking choked out, bro.
Israel Adesanya was finally happening, and from the opening bell of the fight, it was clear this one was different. Dricus, now the champion, wasn't just fighting for a belt, he was fighting for respect, for validation, and to prove that his rise wasn't a fluke. The first 3 rounds were a brawl, with both fighters finding success and punching each other in the face. Adesanya was slick, landing precision strikes.
See, look, Izzy is not the same no more, bro. Watch, I'm gonna show you some shit
success
real quick. Right here, back in the day, this nigga would have sidestepped the joint, swung the nigga around, and just bing. You feel me? But he just want to be a fucking boxer. He just want to, like, no, bro.
Punching each other in the face. Adesanya was slick, landing precision strikes and using his footwork to frustrate.
No, look, he was one side just throwing punches. He could have threw a punch and a kick. You feel me? And a knee. But no.
Dricus, But DDP, ever relentless, kept pressuring, kept closing the distance, and kept landing those wide, powerful hooks that had honestly become his trademark. As the fight entered the 4th round, it looked like the tide was beginning to turn in Adesanya's favor. Dricus appeared to be slowing down, and Adesanya, who has gone through this numerous times, looked to be the favorite to
So
win.
it was a reasonably competitive fight, but I thought Izzy was looking great. I started actually getting a little confident, not cocky, but I don't think that's the right word, but I was getting quite confident in them later rounds. Like, here we go now. It's about, you could see that the finish is coming. I was thinking for Izzy, right?
The commentators started to wonder if this was the moment Dricus' gas tank would fail him, if this was the moment the Cinderella story would come to an end. But just when it seemed like Dricus was on the verge of gassing out, something changed. Call it heart, call it willpower, call it...
It wasn't nothing like that, bro. He just was like, you know what? Let me just end the fight. That's what it looked like, bro. Because the first time he had it, and then the second time he was just like, you know what? Let me just end it right now.
African Jew.
Because, bro, Izzy's submission defense is like...
But Dricus dug deep and found a second wind, and out of nowhere, he came charging at Adesanya, knocked him down, landed about a dozen or so punches to the face, and then dragged him to the canvas and forced him to tap out, becoming the first and only fighter to make the great Israel Adesanya submit. That entire sequence lasted about 20 seconds, and I was silent the whole way through. When it was over and DDP walked around the cage as a legitimate champion, I repeated exactly what I had said at UFC 290 and UFC 297. What the fuck? How did this happen? And I'm pretty sure most of y'all said the same thing. He keeps getting away with this, and it's fucking beautiful.
Yeah, stubborn. I think he's just he's a game-bred dude. He likes fucking muddy fights, man. He likes to make it. That's his thing. He's good at what he does.
Dricus Du Plessis has shattered every dumb expectation, every ill-made prediction, every laughable analysis thrown his way, and he made all of us look like fools. He's not the fastest, not the most technical, and certainly not the most polished fighter in the middleweight division, but what he lacks in finesse, he more than makes up for it with heart, grit, and an unyielding will to win. He's the kind of fighter...
Man, I don't give a fuck what type of fighter this nigga is, bro. Let's continue though, you man.
Who embodies the unpredictability.
We need Pereira to knock his ass up.
Of the sport, the kind of fighter who reminds us that in MMA, sometimes it's not about being perfect. It's about being tough, strong, and downright relentless in pursuit of greatness. So if there's one thing that has been hammered into the collective consciousness of MMA, it's this. Don't ever count out Dricus Du Plessis, because just when you think he's done, outmatched and one step away from collapsing due to the lack of oxygen, he's going to blitz in a straight line and beat the hell out of whoever's in the cage with him, whether it's Robert Whittaker again or the supposed phenom Hamza Chimaev.
Gonna kill him. Hamza gonna fucking smoke that nigga, bro.
Or maybe even the great Alex.
Yeah, bro.
Watan Pereira.
But I don't know if you saw, but Alex Pereira posted that he wants to drop back down to middleweight tonight. So I guess, what do you want next for your career?
If Strickland's the next fight, the people want to see that fight. That's the fight that people want to see, and that's the fight right now that people think is the next best guy. So let me handle my business, you handle your business. You don't have to cut the weight so you have some sort of excuse. I'll come up after the Strickland fight, I'll come up to 205 and we'll sort it out then.
He gonna get murdered. Appreciate y'all, but I don't like Dricus, bro. I'm gonna be honest. I don't like Dricus. If y'all don't, if y'all got any questions, comment. Like, I'm gonna be honest. Like, I just don't like Dricus.